This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with the guitarist of the German hard rock act that bears his name, AXEL Rudi Pell. Today we're talking about your upcoming album, Ghost Town, which is set for release on March 20th, 2026 through Steamhammer. How soon after the release of your last studio album, Risen Symbol, did you start writing for Ghost Town?
Exactly 1 day after I recorded, after we finished the recording of the last one, because, I'm always writing, when I'm at home, just pick. I know it wasn't 1 day, I think it was 3 or 4 days, because I didn't touch the guitar for a couple of days after the recording of the last album. But anyway, I'm always writing, always when I pick up the guitar for practicing a bit, sometimes a great riff comes to my mind. I always have the cell phone with me and the voice recorder, and to keep the idea, I just playing it, I keep it on the tape, then put it on my computer, whatever, and then I'm always writing, creating little bits and pieces. Sometimes the melody comes to my mind when I go to the grocery store. I want to buy some meat, and just wait a minute, and I put it in my phone. Most people think, "What a crazy guy, what's he doing there?" I don't give a shit, So, but I'm always writing, and then I sit down. Probably 2 or 3 months before, after the studio scheduled for recording, I sit down, make a big blank piece of paper, and I sit down, okay, now I listen back to all these little ideas I have and make a blank paper. I say, okay, maybe idea number 38 fits perfectly to idea number 707. No, not that much, but to idea number 92 or whatever. And I put these little bits and pieces together and write the actual really songs, so yeah.
Do you always write fresh, or do you use kind of unused ideas from past albums?
No, I'm never using unused ideas, because I'm always, I throw them away, because I always took the best part out of the unused thing, out of the ideas I have, and I don't listen back to any other ways. I say, no, it's not worth listening to it again. So no, I always take in only the best part, and it's always very fresh, yeah.
And when it comes to AXEL Rudi Pell music, you write the music and you do the lyrics as well, correct?
Yes, I'm doing fucking everything, and I'm creating the artwork too, and I'm my own producer, and yeah, I don't know, yeah.
It's good to have that kind of control, because, you write these things down and you compose them and you're like, oh, this is my baby. I have to nurture it, right?
Definitely, exactly, yes. I'm breastfeeding every one of my babies, yeah.
So I would imagine that, the guys in the band and Johnny Gioeli, they kind of offer their ideas if something doesn't work specifically for them, right?
Oh, of course, definitely. Everybody in my band has this freedom to create their own things, When, for example, Ferdy, the keyboard player, say, "Oh, Axel, I know that's an F sharp minor, but I would add something different. You listen to that." I said, "Okay, give it a try." When I like it, it's on. Definitely, because they love this kind of music too, all the guys, Yeah, but one guy, for example, my drummer, Bobby Rondinelli, he's a great guy. We have the same musical length. Let me say that. Is it right English, length or whatever? When he joins, when he comes to the studio for recording the drums first, when he listens to a rhythm which I created, I say, okay, let's start the song. I know exactly what you want me to play there, baby. He's sitting behind the drums, starting in the groove, and it's always perfect. I love him. Yeah.
Now, was there a story or an event, or maybe it was just walking in the grocery store, that inspired the album's title track, Ghost Town?
No, not really special behind it, because, what really happened was I created the artwork first, and then it looked like a ghost town. There are no people instead of a part of the ghost, that we're standing in front of the castle, there's no one in there. I said, maybe I call it Ghost Town, because I love it. I think it sounds cool. It may have nothing to do with the old Western kind of movies, with the shootings and stuff, the cowboys or whatever. But I love the idea. I mean, it's a different ghost town, but it's a ghost town. But that's not a concept album. It's not the really special story behind it.
Well, I feel like Ghost Town could at least interact with a couple of the other songs on the album, like the opening track, Guillotine Walk, and kind of tie into the Ghost Town and the album cover, I think.
Yes, definitely. You're right. Sometimes it has a medieval kind of background. Yes. But on the other hand, there are a lot of songs of it which haven't in mind, which don't feature the medieval background. Like, for instance, what's the name of the track? I forgot it. The Enemy Within. It's about the inner demon who tries to get out of you sometimes. And you look into the mirror, sometimes, mostly, my inner demon wins. I'm smoking too much. That's my demon, whatever. And you have to fight it every day. It's a war you can never win. It's part of the lyrics in there. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You have a couple of singles out besides Ghost Town. You have Sanity and Guillotine Walk. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the song Sanity?
Sanity, it's about, I know it's a half ballad. It starts with a heavy guitar riff, and then soon I kept the verses very open and not overloading it with lots of guitars, because the song has to move a bit. The space sometimes helps to create a specific atmosphere, It's very kind of melancholic atmosphere, but I love it, And then I hit the guitars, comes back in, it's cool, and yeah, I don't know. I love this track. I love all my little babies.
I was really impressed with Guillotine Walk. Not really a title that, rolls off the tongue or people use often, but it's a killer opening track and it's a great song. Tell me a little more about it.
When I created that track, I always did that with the verses too. Less guitar is sometimes it's more for the song. It's a special, like I said, for Sanity to do a special melancholy in there. And whatever. I think it's about a guy who sent death sentence, whatever. He thinks in his mind about what went wrong, that I have to go to the guillotine now, and he's, I don't know, he's thinking about it. His last steps to the guillotine, whatever. And it all happened a long time ago. That was really medieval times. Normally the people are not using guillotines anymore. Normally not. I don't think so. Yeah, but I love the track, Yeah.
I feel like maybe we should bring back the guillotine for some of the crap that's going on in the world today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. I agree. Yes.
It might teach you people a lesson or two.
Yeah, it will help.
One thing I did not expect on this album was the appearance of Udo Dirkschneider, formerly of Accept. He has a long, storied solo career as well. How did his appearance come about?
He was very quick and easy set. When I wrote the track, I had in mind, as soon as I finished writing the track, I said, wow, that should be a cool song with Udo in combination with Johnny. And I know Udo for a long time, more than 40 years right now, we're not the best friends, but we know each other. And when we're playing festivals together, it happened. I said, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? Blah, 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 small talk, whatever. But then when I wrote, I said, maybe I ask Udo. I asked the other guys in the band first, hey, what do you think about this idea? And they loved it, And I said, Udo, I talked to Udo, and Udo said, yeah, I want to hear the song first before I do it, because I want to see if it fits to my voice, if I like the track and all. And he loves the track. Yeah, let's go.
He's a quick and easy guy, and I noticed he's branching out a lot lately and appearing where you wouldn't expect him to appear.
Right. Yes.
The name of the track is Breaking Seals. I don't think either one of us.
You're right. Yes.
Of course, AXEL Rudi Pell album wouldn't be complete without a ballad. The ballad on this one is Towards the Shore. Tell me a little bit about this one.
Oh, it's about, I think it's one of the best ballads I did. What happened really was when I entered the studio, my engineer, my total engineer, he said, are you sure about that track? It's too cheesy. I said, are you kidding me? It's one of the best ballads. No, it's too cheesy. After the song was done, everybody played. I said, no, I like it. It's great. I said, I tell you before, it's one of my keyboard players' favorite track from the record, Not only because there's a piano on it, but he loves it. He loves the structure, the melodies and stuff, and the harmonies. And I think really it's a cool ballad. Johnny loved it too, singing it. It's a lyrical. It's called about a guy who's burned out a bit and his soul drifts towards the shore, whatever. Enough said about it. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned a couple times that, when composing these songs, you felt like you had to dial back the guitar. Do you think that's something that's come with age and experience? Whereas when you're a young guy, you're a guitar player, you want to hear the guitar. I want my guitar to be heard all the time, anytime.
Yes, because when I was young, I want to be the fastest guitar player on earth. I could play 5 million notes in a minute. I don't give a shit about that nowadays because it's stupid. Because the song. I'm a guitar player. Of course, I can play fast. I proved it in the past. Sometimes a song needs only 3 notes in a solo or 5 notes. played with feeling. You know, you can say much more with you when your emotion, your inner soul goes through your fingers into the playing. It's much better for the audience and for myself too, you know, instead of playing, "Oh, I want to be fast, I want to be that. Who gives a shit? That's boring, you know." Yeah.
Only Yngwie Malmsteen gives a shit.
Oh, I love Ingrid because he's the one. He's perfect. You know, he's really cool. But I couldn't listen more than half an hour. Okay, because it's always fast and more arpeggios and faster than the last time or whatever. But he's a great guy. I love him. I met him several times. He's nice to me. He's nice.
I'll tell you though, he has a reputation, but if you ever see him live, he has this aura about him that you're just in awe of him. And if he plays fast, he plays slow, does whatever he does, like you said, the emotion comes through his music.
Exactly, definitely, yes. I think I saw Ingrid a lot of times. I met him several times, and I'm really into his guitar playing. He's a guitar god, definitely. Yes, yeah.
Now, you mentioned you designed the album cover. Have you always designed your album covers?
No. It happened to. I had a guy from a British guy. He did. It wasn't. I think he did most of the records starting at the end of the '90s, beginning of the 2000s. He was a great guy, but then he killed himself for whatever reason. Maybe he listened to the finished record. I don't know. No, I really don't know about that. And I have to find another guy. And I had a guy from Germany. I think he did 2 or 3 album covers for me. He did cool too. I love the albums, but then I found out about AI. You know, I said, AI. Can I do something with? And I worked on it several weeks. Took me months, but now I really find out. I said, wow. You can do so many great things on it. The problem was when you have an artist, a human being working on your idea, it still is different than what you had in mind before. It's a little different, you know, maybe 50%, 60%. And you say, can you redo this? I don't like that. Can you? Yeah, but it takes a long time to. And when I talk to a guy, he has a different picture of the cover in the head than I have. Of course, the main things are equal or whatever, but some things are a little different. And then I had this writing down this prompts. I worked with AI on a computer. I said, hey, now it's getting closer to my idea in my mind. And then I worked on it. And then the final result was then there. I said, wow, that's it. That's really cool. So it's easier for me. And I have 100% control. I'm a control freak, I have to say. Yeah, unfortunately.
Have you dabbled with AI when it comes to writing music or composing?
Oh, no, that's shit. Because, you know, I have a lot of ideas, still riffs and melodies in mind and whatever. I never would do anything with AI musical. I don't need to. Because, you know, I have the idea now since when my solo career started way back in 1989. You know, and I don't need AI for writing my own music. It's bullshit, you know. Yeah.
AXEL Rudi Pell's got a tour coming up of Europe. March and April. Are you going to be hitting venues that you normally play, or are you going to try to cover new ground?
You know, sometimes we're using the same venues in the same cities, but sometimes we try to play other places we never played before. For example, we didn't know that we had a massive following in Sweden. We actually played there. I think it was, of course, we played the Sweden Rock Festival. I think 15 or 16 or 18 years ago, the first time. It was cool. But we never played our own headlining shows in Sweden. And then my concert agency said, let's try it. And we played 3 shows in Sweden. I didn't have any clue how much people were there. And they were packed. You know, I was surprised. And it was 8 or 10 years ago, as far as I remember. I said, well, I think we have to come back. And now we're playing on every tour. We're playing Sweden, at least 3 shows, you know. And the people love it, yeah.
You're taking out an opening act on the European tour called Neverland. Is this a band that you're familiar with, or will you be getting to know them on the road?
I will know them on the road because you know that my concert agency picked them for me. I believe them. I said, okay, they fit perfect. I said, okay, I trust you. So I'm not picking them by myself because it's not part of my business. You know, that's their business. I hope they're good, but I believe they're good. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about them myself, too, so I think a lot of people will be learning about them, and there's been a lot of bands with the name Neverland over the last 40 years or so.
Could be, yeah. I don't have a clue.
So after the tour wraps up in Europe, are you going to be hitting the festival circuit this year?
No, next year. Definitely next year, not this year. We concentrate on 2027 with the festival circuit. I got a promise from the world's famous Germany's biggest metal festival, Wacken Open Air. You probably heard about it. I got a handshake from one of the two bosses when we last played there in 2024. He said, Axel, I said, hey, Axel, you played here so many times. You have any wish? I said, yes. We never played in the dark with a big pyro fire show because we're only playing late afternoon, but not always on the main stage, but not in the dark. I say, you would like to be headline? I say, yes, one of those days. I promise you in 2027. I say, yeah, I love you. I hope he remembers,
When it comes to the U.S. market, is there just not a lot of interest from the promoters in AXEL RUDI PELL, or is it just a cost thing of coming over here?
Both, definitely. I always said I love the USA. Sometimes I'm working there. We used to master a couple of albums in New York. And I loved it being there. But the problem is, like you said, the promoters, we didn't get any really good offers. Nothing. And I always, what I'm doing every time, Bobby is still living in the US. My drummer, Bobby Rondinelli, is living on Long Island, New York, And I always ask him, Bobby, what do you think about we doing a few shows or whatever? And he said, Axel, believe me, this kind of music is probably nearly over in America, that different kind of music with shit, which he said, which he calls shit, But anyway, so if you're lucky, you'll get 100 people a night. And it would destroy my my wallet, so I couldn't do it. Yeah.
Have you ever played one of those rock cruises where they leave America?
I hate it because the ship doesn't like me. I don't like ships. I don't like being on the sea because I get seasick. Definitely.
Oh, all right.
Even if it's very smooth, I have to throw up. So it's not working for me. I'm sorry for that, but yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
You've been writing and recording and performing music for over 40 years now. A lot of artists that have put in this same amount of time are calling it a career. Have you thought about retirement?
No fucking way. No. Because, the flame inside me is still there. It's burning. My soul is burning. I can't do anything thinking about it. If someone would say, oh, okay, you're not allowed to play the guitar anymore, I said, fuck you, motherfucker. Because I love to play and I love to write. I love to play live. It's my life. It's my passion. It's not only a job. Some people say, it's a job. I'm glad, I don't have to do it because I have enough money there. Oh, who gives a shit? I don't like the fans. I don't like this. I'm the totally opposite. I love to do it. Even if I would have $100 million in my bank account, which I don't have, unfortunately, but I would never stop because that's my passion. I love to do it. I have to keep on moving. Yeah.
Do you have a regular job outside of music?
No. The last regular job I had in 1993.
Really?
Yes, I can live from that music, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Good to hear. A lot of younger guys coming up. It's just not going to be possible.
But I'm not young anymore. That's the thing.
That's true. So over these 40 years you've been a musician, have you ever been approached by an established band asking you to join their band as their guitarist?
No, not one time. I know there was a big rumor, but I never know if it's true that I think it was in the 80s, was it 88 or something, or 89, that Motley Crue would like to have me as a second guitar player. But I never know if that was true because I never heard that from them. But there was a rumor around. I don't know if it's true.
Something like that would I could see you being in a tough position with something like that because you like being a solo artist, you like being in control of your stuff, and
right.
Join something like that, they're in control.
Yeah, that's right, exactly. And I heard a rumor that was when was it? I think it was beginning of the 90s when Richie Blackmore went off Deep Purple. I heard that I was on Deep Purple, remember, on one guy's list, but I'm not sure if this is true. I know the Deep Purple guys. I never asked them because maybe they say, oh no, no. So I want to keep it in mind, but I don't know.
It's better off being out there and doing it yourself.
Oh, definitely, yes. I have my own freedom. I create what I want, and don't have to ask any other guy in the world. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Axel, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new album is Ghost Town. It's out March 20th through Steamhammer. Another fine album, and I want to thank you for telling me more about it today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate your interview. Great. I love it. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Thank you.